A current Dallas officer and a former Dallas officer are facing prosecution for alleged police abuse when some George Floyd protests escalated in the riots of summer of 2020. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. This all comes about a month after the Dallas County District Attorney asked the public for help to identify potential victims of possible police violence. The DA was not talking today, but issued 2 arrest warrants. Fox 4's David Sintendry is live with the update and reaction. David?
Well, Steve and Heather, was it a riot or was it a protest? That depends on who you ask. Nevertheless, there is a current officer and a former officer who are each charged following their actions. During the many days and nights of George Floyd protests in the summer of 2020, some turned violent and led to riots. Dallas businesses were damaged and looted. The city of Dallas issued a curfew. The mayor declared a local state of disaster. The governor met with DFW mayors and the National Guard, and DPS troopers were deployed to help local law enforcement. Now, Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot issued warrants for Dallas Police Senior Corporal Ryan Mabry and former Senior Corporal Melvin Williams, each charged with multiple counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and official oppression.
We're almost at the statute of limitations when charges are finally brought.
Jesua Robo Anabakari Jr., chairman of the Dallas Community Police Oversight Board, is referring to the 2-year period in which these charges need to be filed. He supports the decision.
We have to work on the culture of the Dallas Police Department. Their job is not to use their official capacity to prevent people from exercising their right.
It does seem like it's taken quite a while.
Pete Schulte is a former North Texas police officer turned prosecutor who's now a criminal defense attorney. He says it might be difficult to prove crimes were committed.
You know, we're talking about a volatile environment. We're talking about officers that are going to probably take the stand to say that they were protecting the life and liberty of others.
Corporal Mabry is charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and official oppression. In each case, the DA's office says he used a 40mm launcher.
All I heard was a boom.
One shot hitting Brandon Sines. He lost an eye. However, a 40mm is categorized as less lethal ammunition. And as far as the charges of officer oppression.
So it's one of those cases that to get a conviction on that, you've got to have the evidence to know that that officer went out there with the intent to hurt somebody or do something bad in clear violation of their civil rights.
Former Corporal Williams is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault and 4 counts of official oppression. He was fired from DPD after he was seen punching a man in Deep Ellum last July. That criminal investigation is ongoing. His assault charges at the demonstrations also involve 40mm less lethal ammunition.
People came forward back in 2020.
The DA's office called a press conference last month asking for the public's help identifying potential victims, knowing the statute of limitations is near.
I just don't think that the facts are there.
At the time, Dallas Police Association President Mike Mata said officers did not commit crimes.
We need to call it what it was. It was a full-blown riot. Those officers that were out there need to be supported.
Some disagree.
I'm glad that we're finally seeing some type of progress. People really did not have hope that there would be any level of accountability in regards to what happened with the George Floyd protests.
The Dallas Police Association did not release a statement today, but tells me it plans to do so in the near future. In the meantime, I reached out to the attorneys representing both the current officer and the former officer. I was able to get in contact with Toby Shook, who represents current Corporal Ryan Mabry. He says he believes that the officers were out there in their legal right and says this was not a peaceful protest. He adds that he believes the evidence will show officers used less than lethal force. Certainly a story that's not going away, and we'll be sure to stay on top of it. Steve, Heather, back to you.
Right, David. All right, thank you.